Alrighty, so the first game of these pivotal game three in the first round of the playoffs is in the books. In fact, we're gonna have three more of those happening tomorrow. We have a triple header of game three to finish up and wrapping up in terms of what's gonna be the matchup in the conference semifinal. In fact, the Western Conference bracket has already set up, as this is actually the only Western Conference first round matchup that went the distance and went all three games. And again, tomorrow we'll see how the Eastern Conference bracket is going to look like, who's going to be moving on into the conference semifinal. And I would also say that I'm glad that at least one of the teams that I picked to reach all the way to MLS Cup survived past the first round, because I thought that there might be a repeat of what we saw in my bracket filling in the Leeds Cup, where both of the team I predicted to make it to the final didn't even make it past the first round. Now, that being said, in terms of this game between LAFC and the Vancouver Whitecaps, it really was a game of two halves. It was a game where the Whitecaps were the better team in the first half, but unable to find a goal. And how many times we have said this cliche: when you are the underdog and when you're facing against a much superior team, if you don't hit your moments, yeah, it's gonna come back to haunt you, and it haunt the Whitecaps back. As in the second half, LAFC kind of took over, and it feel like this performance for LAFC is a little similar to what we saw in their MLS Cup winning season, where this is a team that back in that campaign always gets off to a slow start and can't get things going until the second half. They're really a second half team, and they kind of show that in this one, and ultimately move on with a 1-0 victory against the Whitecaps. Now, early on, Vancouver had most of the possession, as LAFC was elected to sit back and look for those dangerous transition. And at the beginning, I thought, that kind of makes sense, because Vancouver, at least in these last couple of games, they have shown that they can, of course, control the possession. But again, that kind of plays into the hands of LAFC. LAFC will always look to trying to win the ball back either high up the pitch or in the middle of the pitch and go quickly on the transition. They're one of the most dangerous transition team in the league. So in some way, when you of course dominate possession against LAFC, it's a little bit misleading, and in some way, it kind of plays in the hands of LAFC. But I thought Vancouver did a good job in terms of not allowing that for the majority of the first half. Bawongo would hits the side inning, as that was the game's first shot, and then the first shot for the Whitecaps did see goal. Hits it into the 3-2-5-2 in the 10th minute. Yeah, Ryan Gold. He didn't really has as much as of an effect as what we saw in the last game as well, and that's understandable, considered that was probably the number one target for LAFC coming into this game, that they have to stop Ryan Gold. I mean, they also have to stop Ryan White as well. That dynamic duo of the Whitecaps, when they're on, they're definitely awesome to watch. But yeah, I thought LAFC for the most part did that. Although we did see one big moment between the duo in this game, especially in the first half. Though Tillman would put it just high from close range. The shots were two apiece early, but no shot on target at least 15 minutes in. Lloris would then deny White from close in the 26th minute. Vancouver continued to control possession, and again, they're doing a good job in terms of moving the ball around. They were also building these kind of slow build up, which again I was kind of surprised. Maybe LAFC might not decided to push their line high, up a little bit more, trying to win the ball high up the press, and maybe use their press a little bit, because they was just kind of sitting back, allowing Vancouver to dictate the play, and as a result, that kind of really tired this LAFC team. They had to be very disciplined when it comes to their defense. And again, the other problem for LAFC is that because they were kind of pinned deep, they weren't really able to go on the break on the other end. Well, that being said, there was a shout for a penalty for LAFC not given in the 30th minute. Adekobe would puts it wide from long range in the 35th, and then Palencia had a shot that was blocked away from close. That also came off of a turnover for the Whitecaps, and that's something that the Whitecaps, again, they did a really good job in terms of not just moving the ball around, but also not forcing unforced turnover. Because when you have possession, you always got to be careful, especially against a team that likes to hit on the transition, not make some bad passes to give the ball away in bad spot, and you can get punished. But I thought that was kind of one of the moments where they did exactly that, and that is a huge warning sign if you're the Whitecaps, because we know LAFC can capitalize on those mistakes. LAFC is one of the last team you want to turn the ball over in bad spot, because more times than not they're going to score the goal and capitalize on that mistake. White would then put it wide as he was in on goal in the 42nd minute. That was probably the best chance of the game because yeah, Brian White was in on goal here. You know, he did have to go quickly in terms of trying to chip it over Lloris, and I think that might kind of put him off a little bit. But the caliber of Brian White, yeah, that he's gonna be thinking about that one, and I would not be surprised he might even be thinking about that one all off season because that was really the moment for the Whitecaps to take the 1-0 lead, and it was huge for the Whitecaps to really capitalize on this because you know heading into halftime scoreless in this game, you just kind of had a sense that LAFC was going to make that adjustment in the second half and start to maybe go a little bit more aggressive on the attack, and that's exactly what they did heading into the second half. There was another shot for a penalty for LAFC not given early. Veselinovic with hits one right to Lloris. Little do we know that that would be one of the last shot that Vancouver would have. They would be have a long period of time where they were stuck at just 10 shots. O'Brien would then goes on his bike there, but was denied by Taco. Imagine if that one went into the back of net. I mean, in these game three, when we see these kind of games that are very tight and stuff, you need one magical moment, and it could also come from an unlikely source. I mean, I wouldn't think anyone had Lewis O'Brien scoring a bicycle kick go and doing the Diego Chara on the bingo card for this game three, but he almost did that. Bawanga then had a shot that was deflected and goes wide. I thought it was a much better start for LAFC. Again, they were being a little bit more aggressive. They weren't just going to sit back and just allow Vancouver to dictate the play. Giroud then took a swing and a miss on the doorstep of goal, and then Bawanga would put it wide from close range, and then Giroud just missed one on an outstretched leg in the 57th minute. You can sense that the pressure was on. Like the LAFC was putting a ton of pressure on this Whitecaps team. You just kind of had a sense that opener was eventually going to happen. Shino would then hits it right to Taco in the 61st minute. The shots were now 11-10 for LAFC. Early on, Vancouver was really putting a lot of shots on this LAFC team, but with this sustained pressure, those shots were start to add up. And then on the 12th shot of the game, they finally buries it. It's Mateus Bogusz. He scored from long to give LAFC a 1-0 lead, and while it was a great diving header there from long to set up that play, yeah, it also kind of was not dealt cleanly and just kind of came off of a terrible turnover for the Whitecaps. Again, that is something you just cannot do against LAFC. You cannot uh you cannot decide to turn the ball over in bad spot and not expect it to be punished, and the Whitecaps were punished because of that. And just like that, LAFC took a 1-0 lead. And I also wrote Vancouver just stuck at 10 shots because that there it is, you know, they just could not find that control and possession that we saw in the first half. LAFC was looking very comfortable up to that point. That being said, in the 74th minute, one of their former player almost scored here, and this is why I was thinking, like, you know, if Tristan Blackman did score against LAFC, I wonder what his celebration is going to be. I don't know if he's going to be celebrating against his former team, even if it's a crucial goal, but he did score here. Problem was the flag did not agree with him, and rightfully so. I mean, when you look on the replay, he was at least 2 or 3 yards offside there. But that's a warning sign for LAFC. And again, so one thing we seen this season, you know, even when you're playing at home, 1-0 lead might not be enough to close out game. And even though I know LAFC is one of the better team in terms of closing out games, you know, in the playoffs, anything can happen, and that again, the Whitecaps are only one moment away of tying it. And really, as the time winds down, they started to control the possession again, like what we saw in the first half. But the question is, can they create some chances against this LAFC defense? They look like they were just locking this one down. And the answer is no. They couldn't muster another chance to really make this very interesting late in the game. And in the end, LAFC, you know, it's not a vintage performance by any means of necessary, but in the old saying, the playoffs, it's about surviving being an event, and that's exactly what LAFC did. They survived the first round of this playoffs and survive against a Whitecaps team that I'm pretty sure this Whitecaps team definitely put much more resistant than what many people thought they would. Although, I mean, are you surprised by that, considering the fact that the Whitecaps coming into this series, coming off of that 5-0 beatdown that they had against the Timbers in the playing round, and not to mention they want to get some revenge after what happened in the first round of the playoffs last year. But unfortunately, that revenge will have to wait. They're eliminated in the playoffs. The shots in this one, 12 shots for both of these teams, 2 shots on goal for both of these teams, 3 shots off target with a fourth that Vancouver has, 5 shots that was blocked with a 6 that LAFC had, and possession-wise, 58% possession compared to the 42% possession that LAFC had. So in terms of stats-wise, very close between both of these teams. But in the end, LAFC just showed that more clinical finishing and taking their moments in this game when they had the sustained pressure on like the Vancouver Whitecaps, and that in the playoffs like this, that's all it takes. And all it takes is that if you take your opportunity when it's given to you, you're gonna have a good chance of moving on into the next round, and that's exactly what LAFC will do. They will be facing against the Seattle Sounders in the conference semifinal. Which, if you're a Sounders fan, I don't think that is a thing that they'll be very happy about, consider LAFC have simply owned Seattle all this year. But for the Vancouver Whitecaps, I mean, this is a bit of a tough one because on one hand, I know that Whitecaps fan will be very frustrated because it's another first round exit. They once again lost to LAFC. It feels like now that LAFC has started to have a little bit of ownage over Vancouver when it comes to knockout match, and that this even goes back to in the CONCACAF Champions Cup when LAFC was able to win those two-leg affairs against Vancouver. But on the other hand, I would also say that the Whitecaps would have a good fight. I mean, they really put LAFC on the brinks in all three of these games, and if they were a little bit better when it comes to finding those clinical moments, they probably would be the one that create this big upset and move on into the next round. But unfortunately, it was not meant to be. And also with LAFC winning, unfortunately, it feels like we are not going to see Minnesota United play another game at Allianz Field, which I kind of had a feeling that was the case. I had a feeling me seeing them play against RSL on Saturday was kind of the last game that we're going to see at Allianz Field, unless until the MLS Cup. If Atlanta and the Red Bulls somehow made a crazy run to the final as well, but still, again, it's an interesting kind of way to end the season and how you react. And I'll talk more about it in the Moving Forward series episode. Where if you're a Whitecaps fan, I mean, depending on how you look at it, you could be an optimistic Whitecaps fan, say, well, we give up a pretty good fight, and we should be proud of that. But if you're kind of a pessimistic Whitecaps fan, I can understand the frustration and that it was there for them to take it in this game. They look competitive in all three of these game, and if they would have just capitalized in one of these moments, especially in this game, they probably would be the one that move on. And again, it's another first round exit, which is something that the Whitecaps have been stuck in this for a while now. They have not moved past the first round ever since 2017 in the playoffs. But either way, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure to leave a like, smash the subscribe button. As always, let me know in the comments below what do you think of this video. And tomorrow, as I said, we're gonna have 3 more games, a triple header that starts with FC Cincinnati taking on NYCFC, and then we also have the big matchup between Atlanta versus Inter Miami, which I'm pretty sure not only everyone's on the edge of the seat, but I'm pretty sure the commissioner and also Apple TV CEO are probably on the edge of their seat as well, because they know that they do not want to see their golden prize get eliminated in the first round, and that the ratings and also viewership might absolutely tank if that of course is the case. But either way, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you like, smash the subscribe button, and also going back to that, as much as they don't want to see that, I'm pretty sure every MLS fans want to see that, and every neutral will want to see the demise of Inter Miami getting knocked out in the first round. And I've already heard like a lot of MLS fans are saying, yeah, they feel like Atlanta tomorrow. They're definitely they be rooting for Atlanta United, and adapt them as kind of their bandwagon team. And can you imagine? I said that a couple of years ago that everybody would be really on the backs of Atlanta United. How things have turned when it comes to the crazy world of MLS that is. But as I said, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you like, smash the subscribe button, and yeah, I of course will see you guys next time.